In 2004, at the very beginning, I started having pretty significant pains in my back, my lower back. Like very quickly couldn't put on my socks standing up, which is something I always used to do, and I just couldn't do that anymore. And I didn't really understand why. I started trying to get help. I was in the military at the time, so I was trying to find out what was going on, and they didn't know, they didn't understand the symptoms. And by mid that year, I sometimes couldn't walk. I could no longer do any physical activity that we typically did in the military. I couldn't go to yoga classes anymore. I couldn't do Pilates. Like walking was my good day, and that was it. And it just kept progressing. And in the military, they're not so, they don't take so kindly to people who can't pull their weight. So it was pretty hard emotionally too, and I think there was definitely an element of it. But by February of the next year, 2005, I basically had a complete breakdown with my physiotherapist, because by then I had seen numerous physiotherapists, osteopaths, chiropractors, acupuncturists, back specialists. Like, I'd kind of done it all, and there was no relief of it and no insight into what was wrong. And she said, okay, I'm gonna talk to the doc and try to get you in for an MRI. And so in preparation for that, she kept telling me, it's probably nothing. It might be a herniated disc, but whatever. So I go, and my doctor calls me in a panic when she gets the results back, calls me up and basically says, okay, so this is what's going on. And she's standing next to a skeleton. And I had 5 herniated and bulging discs, so 2 in my lower back, 3 in my cervical spine, and then, so, I'm sort of sitting there in utter and complete shock, because nobody had prepared me for that. And I didn't really understand what it meant, other than it really hurt. And oh, by the way, you have a spinal cord injury in your thoracic spine. So that was that. And basically what they told me was, don't worry, as long as the spinal cord injury doesn't get worse, like it'll stay the same or get worse, as long as that doesn't get worse and you don't lift anything heavy, you should stabilize. Like, this won't get any worse for you. The pain shouldn't get worse. And unfortunately, it did. Like, it just kept getting worse over the years. I had a career. I worked as an engineer. And there were so many days where I'd have to close the door to my office, lay on the floor with my laptop on my stomach and type, because I couldn't sit in a chair. Like, I couldn't pull my bag. I couldn't do anything. So fast forward many years, I get to 2015. I'm living in the Middle East. And one day I'm sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden I just feel this weird sensation. I don't really understand, because I haven't moved. And my disc apparently had completely prolapsed out. It had finally gone, because it's been progressing through the years. I had all these MRIs to show it. But it had finally really gone. And it had displaced my spinal cord by 50%. So it was stuck in my spine. And like, I couldn't even go like that. I couldn't look down. So I'm sitting there with a neurosurgeon, and he's going through the results with me, saying, okay, you need urgent surgery. This is what we're going to do. And okay. I kind of just gave up then and said, that's fine, let's just deal with this. And I was really actually quite hopeful that after the surgery there'd be a great improvement. And the thing was that afterwards there was no longer the flare-ups that I would get, because obviously there was no longer disc sticking out where it shouldn't. But now I had almost no disc left right at the base of my spine, which is the biggest disc we have, and it carries sort of the most weight and structure. So I had a whole bunch of other issues that kind of started to come up. And even things that I'd been able to do during the time before the surgery, like say swim, I couldn't do that anymore, because I couldn't not have weight on my back, because now the way I pictured it, all the ligaments were loose now, and it just would, I don't know, I'd get shooting pain and stuff. And at that point I just thought, this is my life. Like, this is just how it's going to be, and at least I can still walk, so I should just be grateful for that. And then, so yeah, fast forward again, I find myself last year, so really it was October 2018, and I'd gotten a few emails through Encephalon and Dr. Joe saying, oh, we're gonna do an event here or there, progressive online and things like that. And it was starting to catch my attention, but it just somehow, I guess it just wasn't the right time. So yeah, okay, no, not now. And then, yeah, October comes around, and they were opening for Vancouver, and I'm from Vancouver, so I thought, oh, that's funny, and now we can do these online before we show up for the week long. And so I thought, well, I think I need to do this. I felt like I needed a bit of kick in the butt to go in a different direction. But it, again, it had nothing to do with my back or my neck or anything. It was just, I had a meditation practice that I wanted to grow because I felt like I was a little stagnant. And so I go to Vancouver, no expectation. Like, I had never heard of coherence healing. I didn't know people popped. I was completely overwhelmed. And I had a rough week. It was like a roller coaster of learning and trying and getting one thing right and 20 things wrong, and then going back thinking, okay, well, now I can build on that one thing. And then with the expectation you walk in with, it doesn't go that way. And I really struggled through it. And I got to, I think it was the second walking meditation. So I think we did that on a Friday morning. And I was standing there, you know, as you start to listen to him and your eyes are closed, and it was freezing cold out. And I was standing there thinking, we're standing here for a long time. Like, he's talking for a long time before we walk, and I wanted to walk to warm up. And I thought, that's really funny, because normally when I stand for so long after having sat for so long, because we'd been sitting all week, my back I would really feel it would hurt. I was like, that's funny, it doesn't hurt. And then he must have said, start walking. So I thought, okay, whatever, and I just started walking, and I forgot about it. And then we come back in, and I guess we must have gone for breakfast, and then we came back in, and all the music's playing, and we're dancing, and they play a song that I just love. I can't tell you the title, but they played it here this week too. And I just run up, and I had been dancing, right, just with everybody else, but I love this song. So I run up, and I was just like jumping around like I used to do in school days kind of thing. And then go sit down, listen to lectures. We get up for lunch, and I get up, and my calf muscles were screaming at me. They had completely tightened up, and as if I had been to the gym, which of course I didn't do anymore. And I thought, what is this? What's going on? And then I kind of try to walk and loosen it up, and I thought, like, what caused this? And I thought, oh, I was jumping. It's because I was jumping. That's why I'm not used to that. And then it hit me, and I was like, I was jumping because I couldn't jump. Because when I would hop or, say I tried to skip or something, it would literally before feel like all the weight was crashing down on that one spot on my back, like all the weight from my upper body. Even trying to carry, grocery bags, I would always feel it right there, and it would really hurt. And I thought, that's funny, because I don't remember my back hurting when I was jumping for an entire song. And then, okay, well, that's fine. And then we come back in, and I thought, I'm going to check something. So another thing I hadn't been able to do, like I'd stopped doing yoga and everything because I couldn't bend anymore. I couldn't twist. So I sat down on the floor with my legs out in front of me, and I was trying to bend forward, and I stood up, and I was bending down, to the floor, to my toes, and I could do it without pain. I thought, oh, that's strange. And then I thought, okay, tonight I'm going to sleep on my stomach. That'll be the test, because I can't say I couldn't do it over those 15 years, but if I could actually get on my stomach, 'cause sometimes we just feel like we need to stretch the other way, but I would almost get stuck there. Even if I fell asleep, I would wake up in excruciating pain, and I would almost not be able to roll over from that position. So like it was a good test. So I go back, and when I go to bed, and I thought, oh, I have to lay on my stomach. Okay, here it goes. And so I lay on my stomach, and I fall right asleep because we're exhausted. And I wake up at 12:30 because I remember seeing the clock, and I thought, oh no, this is not going to be pretty, because I didn't intend to stay there for that long. And okay, here we go. And I just pushed myself over, and I rolled over, and I thought, that's funny, that didn't hurt. And then I fell asleep. And so then I show up on Sunday, and I said to Fiona, I said, you know what? I think I fixed my back. Watch me. And so I started jumping and bending over, and I think anyway, I know it's a long story, but just to sort of sum up, I didn't want to do a testimonial, because I think part of me was like, I still need to see it. It'd been a long time. It'd been 15 years, and I thought, I want to go back to my life and just see what this really is. I was meditating every day, but after 2 months, and a little incident with my dog in the shower, trying to hose him down and him squiggling, I don't know what I did. I sort of twisted my back a little, and caught it, and it was sore, and I thought, oh, interesting. That's too bad. Felt sorry for myself for a couple of days, and then went, no, let's get back at this. If I could do it once. And at the same time, I was starting to make progress with doing the breath work. Because up until then, of course, I was just pushing air up, and that was about it. Nothing was happening. And I was starting to get, a little bit of movement in my hands and stuff, and I thought, okay. But it got to the point where it seemed like if I woke up with a sore back, because it just seemed to be when I would sleep and I would get up, it would start to ache again. If I went into my meditation and I did the breath and I actually got somewhere with it, I'll say, beyond, well, yeah, I could manage it. I would get up from the meditation and I go, oh, that's better. It feels better. So then I thought, okay, well, is this going to be a management thing? There's your reason to do your meditation every morning, and the breath is because I have to manage my back pain. But then Dr. Joe released Blessing of the Energy Center 7, which is the laying down meditation, like version of it, but we do the laying down breath. And that I was able to grasp a little more quickly and actually start getting some of the effects from it. But what happened was pretty much right away, I'd say I did it once or twice, and I had enough energy kind of just flowing through me, nothing crazy, but just energy, almost like chills. I was done. There was no more back pain, and to this day, I don't know when he released it, actually. I don't know the month, but it was basically right when it got released, I got it. And since then, like, I do yoga and Pilates like 5+ days a week. And in our class, when we warm up and we hop, I actually hop around, and I can bend forward, and I can help in this event. Like, somebody was a little lightheaded after standing for too long, and caught her, like her full weight just caught her and kind of got her down, and we're thinking there's no way I would have been able to get up from this before. Like, that would have really done a number on my back. And I didn't even feel it. I didn't even feel the weight in that spot. So no popping, no crazy beings or anything came to see me. It was just, and I suffered through that week. Like, I really had to overcome myself during that week, and it was a struggle, like, the entire time. And yet I walked away with no back pain after 15 years.